Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our presentation on W Bad Buildings program today. I'm Jared Stewart. I'm one of our community development associates on the team here. A little background, I graduated from WVU with a degree in economics in 2023. And then I worked for the West Virginia DEP for a little while doing stream restoration projects and some legal interning. And then I began working here. I've been here about a year now. Doing a lot of work with our bad buildings program and some of our like internal inventory and project tracking stuff. Then our other presenter today is Ganga Nakamari. She want to introduce herself and just go around and do some quick introductions for those of us who are unfamiliar. Go from there.
Hi, I'm Ganga Nakarmi. I am a Brownfield Project Inventory Manager at Northern West Virginia Brownfield Assistance Center, and I have been with this organization for a little bit over 2 years. And I graduated from WVU in 2023, and I am enjoying this program. And welcome to our webinar, and thank you for participation. And I will go with whoever wants to go with. Thank you.
Yeah, Seth, would you like to go?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Seth Cardwell. I'm the other community development associate on the team. I do a lot of works with the Bad Buildings program out of our office. I've been here for a little bit over 2 years, graduated from WVU in May of 2023 with my master's in public administration.
Then we also have our assistant director, Katie C, on the call, and Haley Paul, who helps a lot with outreach. Katie, Haley is a little sick today, so we're not going to make her speak, but Katie, if you'd like to go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jared. You've got a great team here, so hope you found this information session helpful. And yes, my name is Katie, and thanks again, everyone, for joining us.
All right. We've all been introduced, so I guess we will get started with the presentation here. Can anyone see my screen all right? Should be like the basics of being bad. Hearing no complaints, we'll get going. All right. So the Bad Buildings program, first BAD stands for Brownfield Abandoned Dilapidated. And this is a statewide initiative that provides technical assistance and site assessment tools to enhance and abandoned dilapidated building programs in communities. So again, bad buildings, brownfields, which is any site where there's contamination by asbestos, petroleum products, lead, things like that. Abandoned, yeah, just properties that are no longer have anyone residing in them, and dilapidated, just properties that have fallen into disrepair. So why do we want to address some of these properties? They oftentimes pose health and safety risks, anything from, providing a place for criminal activity or, whether that's pieces of the building falling off, anything like that. They impact adjacent property values. My screen's, sorry, one second. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, they also impact adjacent property values and reduce tax revenues, and those things all kind of combine to slow economic growth. So yeah, our program follows a two-phase model. The first phase includes forming a bad buildings team. This starts with like a core. Usually there's a community champion or someone like that that reaches out to us, and they have a couple other people they usually work with, and that kind of forms a core team, and that's who we will generally work with pretty closely throughout the process. And then there's whoever else in the community who's interested and would like to volunteer with creating that inventory or assisting with any redevelopment efforts, they're also welcome to join as well. So once we form that bad buildings team, we then have a couple of training sessions. We'll come to the community in person and provide training on the inventory app we use, which is called Regrid, and that syncs a bunch of different parcel information from local assessment offices and census data and things like that. So show everyone how to inventory, and then after we do the training on how to inventory, we will go out and begin inventorying, usually 2 to 4 hours that first day, knock out as much of it as we can, and then hold additional days as needed. So yeah, that's forming, training, and developing that inventory are the first phases. And then phase two kind of kicks back to our end a little more. We take all that information from the inventory. We hold a prioritization, another community meeting where we will go through and identify community priorities and rank the inventory based on those, give each property a score, and kind of figure out what a good starting point to tackle these properties would be. So yeah, we take all the prioritized inventory. We have conversations with different community members, gather information on ongoing projects, ongoing partnerships, things like that, and we put all that into a final report, which is pretty much our redevelopment plan here. So yeah, that final report is kind of then the basis on which we can use to, it has all the different information to pursue different grant opportunities, things like that. And then last step is beginning to implement those recommendations and different funding sources that we include in the final report. So the timeline of the program usually lasts about 6 months. Today we are providing, our bad buildings overview to accelerate communities in particular. Just side note, we are currently have funding specifically for accelerate communities in Southern West Virginia. So that's why we're really pressing for those communities. Then the first month, we have our first team meeting, which is again that inventory training and beginning to go out and collect data for the inventory. Months 2 for 3, we will analyze all the survey results, make sure addresses are correct, parcel numbers are correct, all that good stuff, and provide a structural, a condition for each property, whether it's poor, good, poor, fair, should be demolished. And then after that, again, we have that local prioritization meeting where we go through and rank the different properties in our inventory to kind of figure out which are best candidates to start with. And then months 4 and 5 is when we develop that final report and recommendations. And again, that final report will contain just demographic, historical, other community data, short and long-term recommendations, and then some different funding sources, kind of like a mini resource roadmap there. And then at the end of the program, we'll have a final presentation to the community where we give an overview of all of our work, go over those short and long-term recommendations and next steps, and highlight some different services we're able to provide through the W Brownfield Assistance Center, and as we are also Mid-Atlantic tab, which is technical assistance for brownfields. So we have different technical assistance capabilities through that as well. So yeah, creating your bad buildings team. So for this program, we use teams to survey rather than individuals. And that is so we can get kind of a group consensus on different property conditions. We're going around the community. We are just going and doing what we call windshield surveys. So we are remaining on not trespassing, going on private property, but it's like getting the best assessment you can just from like the sidewalk, or if you're driving by from your car, things like that. Again, we want to have a couple different voices in the room so we can, if we're unsure, or one person sees one thing, another person sees another, so we can come to consensus there. These teams help to increase engagement and encourage conversation. You're hanging out all day, going around inventorying properties. People, you get to talking. We can, usually discuss like different ongoing things, different, things that team members have noticed in the community, or projects they're excited about, and all that good stuff. Again, it helps us to reach a consensus on surveyed properties, and yeah, just having more people involved helps to make things go a little quicker. So again, the team basics, there is that local champion I mentioned earlier, and then there's those couple other core advocates that will help recruit the larger team. Again, that local champion and that kind of core group is who we're in contact with most often. And then we want to get, best we can, a group of diverse stakeholders, government officials, business owners, concerned citizens, religious leaders, anyone who's interested in community revitalization or redevelopment. We want, again, as many voices in the room, as much input as possible, so we can get like a complete picture of what the community's needs are and what we would like to see. So learn to survey. While we do these surveys, again, we are collecting visual data. We are helping or classifying properties, whether that's if they're residential, commercial, mixed use, etc. And then again, the data we collect will help us to prioritize these properties based on community needs and goals. And then again, based off all that information, it will help us to determine some next steps and a good starting point for the community to go from creating that inventory. So like I mentioned earlier, our surveys are called windshield surveys. We like to have teams of 2 to 3 individuals doing these surveys. And they're called windshield surveys because we are not going onto the property itself, but it's just what we can view from either the roadway or sidewalk or things like that. And then while we're surveying, if there's any property owners or others that would like to, know what we're up to, just kind of like explain briefly. And I think it's really important that, this is all community driven, and none of it is there's no like implications if, we say a building is, should be demolished. That doesn't mean it's going to be demolished. There's a lot of steps in between here and there. To get to that point, we are simply gathering information, trying to get a plan together, and help the community pursue their goals. So layout of the structural survey, there's a couple different questions. First, we identify the property type, whether it's single family, duplex, multifamily, commercial, etc. And this will also help us on our end to identify brownfield sites and things like that. And then we go into through our structural conditions checklist. We are classifying these different conditions as major, minor, or no problems. We go take a look at the building frame structure best we can, roof, chimney, gutters, windows, doors, siding, veneers, paint, porch overhang entrance. And yeah, then based off of those major, minor, no problem classifications, we'll then give each property a ranking as either good, fair, poor, or should be demolished. And then within Regrid or our paper surveys, we do sometimes as well, but with Regrid, you're able to upload photos directly, and they're actually required to submit the surveys. And there's also a section at the end to add any notes or comments on the property. Again, when we're out and about in the community knows, you know, their structures and all that best. So yeah, it provides a space to, you know, add that additional information from our local experts. We also usually include vacant lots in our surveys, especially for areas that are trying to identify sites for housing projects. So yeah, when we are surveying vacant lots, survey questions are going to differ a little bit because we're not assessing structural conditions. So vacant lot conditions include good, which is like minimal vegetation, litter and debris; fair, which is more moderate, litter, vegetation, debris; and then poor, which means it's heavily overgrown, excess litter, or like there might be remnants of foundations or things like that still on the property. And then again, you can add any notes and photos you'd like of the vacant lot and any additional information there. Yeah, kind of a visual example of the windshield surveys. We're going again, looking at roof, chimney, gutters. Are the eaves intact? Is the roof line sagging or uneven? Are there shingles missing? Is there a big hole in the roof? All that good stuff. Building frame and structure. Is like the structure leaning? Is there a big hole in the wall? Can we see out the block work is messed up? All that good stuff. Porch and overhang. We're looking at like the porch roof, awning. Are like all the supports and pillars in good shape? Like the steps leading up, oftentimes those will be like wooden steps, especially those tend to rot if they're not maintained. Things like that. Windows, doors, are any of them broken, missing, boarded up, etc. Siding and paint. Is there siding? Is there paint? Is it chipping? Does it yeah, etc. So yeah, again, I mentioned a couple times earlier, during inventories, we use an app called Regrid. You can just download it onto your phone. There's also a desktop version. But yeah, again, it compiles different property data sources for parcels across the United States. Um, and we use a mobile app during our windshield surveys. And again, we teach those who attend the inventory days how to use the app, you know, what we're looking for in our survey responses and all that good stuff. And then on our end, we go through again and review all that data after our surveys. So this is an example of what the inventory maps look like in Regrid. The yellow outlines indicate different parcel boundaries. Red, when you click on a parcel, it'll highlight it in red. And then purple indicates that a survey has already been successfully submitted for that property. And then again here, it will show the different survey data, and then you can also look at all this synced parcel data. And you can also follow properties that are of heightened interest and things like that, add it to a like starred list. Yeah, a lot of good information here makes surveying a lot easier. Again, after we get that survey information, we will then, on our end, classify the properties and do a little bit of data analysis. We are again classifying into good, which means they need no more than 2 minor repairs. It's things like needs a coat of paint, needs a little bit of, you know, maybe like a deck or something like that replaced, or steps leading up to the structure. Nothing major. Fair, which needs 3 or more minor repairs, but no more than 1 major repair. Poor, 2 or more major repairs, and should be demolished, which you know, this is especially buildings that are already falling over, already that have been burnt out, that are just not suitable to be inhabited or habited. Yeah, they're uninhabitable. Yeah, Gonga, I think I went into your slides a little bit. um, you're muted.
Mute. Sorry about that. So now, after all these steps that Jerry just explained, we come to the community prioritization. And this is basically the stage where we help our community to list to down in a manageable way so that we have some focused, the most important properties identified for redevelopment or remediation efforts. So this will be really based on the community needs. So what we do in this phase is we communicate with community and stakeholders, and then we come up with some 3 to 5 community priorities, and which could be the visibility of the structure, health and safety, redevelopment and potential of the brownfield or bad building. So those might be some of the um, criteria uh, that we can based on to prioritize the properties. So with this, we will have some like a good many size based on the blighted extent of blighted properties. So basically on this in this phase we will prioritize on like the poor and should be demolished, like Jared mentioned over in his previous slides. These will be based on 4 different criteria: good, fair, poor, and should be demolished. So based on those, when we do the prioritization, we basically focus on poor and the should be demolished properties. And next slide, please. And after that, we develop a final preliminary report based on whatever we found. And then this final report will generally consist of the outline of bad building process, brief history about the site or the community, and then identify these key data demographic stuffs for writing grant and applications and stuff like that. And we also look on what are the ongoing initiatives in the communities in terms of bad building or brownfields, and also code enforcement and ordinances. We look through those as well, and then methodology, and then community priorities, and then potential funding sources to address these properties. So this will be the final report will consist generally these items. And next slide, please. And then we will come to the community again with the final report, and that report we will present in the community and the stakeholders. And then whatever feedback we get, we note that, and we try to address them with follow up with the bad building staff and the uh, community members. And the ongoing assistance provide the community to help address the blight and accomplish redevelopment goals and initiatives. So with this, we really narrow down our basic or very much of the need of those properties, where we can get the funding sources, what would be the best redevelopment opportunities, things like that. So we will discuss on that final presentation day. Next slide, please. And now we have bad buildings, and what we did in terms of bad building in West Virginia is we work in a 21 different, our focus area is 21 different counties in relation to CBRI, and those Act Now coalition, and those are these different, as you see in the map, the green part is the focus area, and we are really seeking for communities to participate. And next slide, please. So this is where we have been so far out of 21 counties, Mullins in Wyoming counties, Kimball in McDowell County, Williamsburg in Greenbrier County, Frank, Bartow, and Darwin in Pocahontas County, Bluefield in Mercer County, Madison in Boone County. So this is where we have been implementing in one or the other phases of bad building program implementation. So we are really expecting more communities to come and participate, because this is really good program, and to have this listed of blighted properties is really a good start. This gives you a foundational or basis to apply for different grants. So I would really encourage you to participate. And if you are not in the bad building team or these counties, don't worry, we will find out something. So next slide, please. So yeah, so just reach, if you are not within those 21 counties, just reach out to us and we will assist you with other resources as best as our ability or sources. Next slide, please. Yeah, so now you are in, and what to do is basically to contact the bad building team. Let us know what you want to do, where you want to focus, and stuff like that, and schedule a community meeting for us to help educate the stakeholders. That mean the community members, and then work with bad building to build your team, and we will schedule a training for inventory day, and then we will have fun inventorying those properties and have the basic or foundational document for applying to different or looking for the different resources for redevelopment and remediation purposes. Next slide, please. And here we are, so you can contact us and different, here are the contact information of bad building. And then here is another bad building seminar coming on, and then you can please participate, attend this conference. And with this, I think we are here. And is Jared, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, usually we have a slide, but all this, everything involved with this program is free to our communities. And we don't have any funding sources we can provide directly. But again, we are here to help identify and guide communities to being able to access those things. And also, we have the QR code to our Bad Buildings website. In that website, there is a link to submit a form, interest form, and that'll just ask you like where you're coming from, your contact information, and a couple other questions.